Good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Stamp and Create with Beth. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today I am going to make a card with the Perennial Postage dies. So let me just pull up my video here. And I'm just going to give it a few seconds for everyone to pop in. So if you pop in, say good morning. Just looking for my video. And if you're new to hanging out with us, say hi. Let us know where you are watching from. We'd love to get to know you and welcome you into our crafting community. Okay, here. Waiting on my computer to catch up a little bit here. So, I see a lot of people have come in. I may need to adjust this camera just a tad. Okay. There we go, I think. Hello, everyone. Good morning, Xana. Good morning, Joan. Good morning, Jenny. So, let's get rid of that. There we go. Okay. So, I think I'm good. All right, so I want to show you these Perennial Postage dies. Let me show you the sizes here. I do have a stack over here. I'm going to show you what they look like. And here are some cards that I've made. Good morning, Linda. So this was my most recent one, and this is the one I want to show you today. And we'll pick whatever image we want. But I wanted it to look like a postage stamp. So I really like this style of card right now. Here's another one I did. And this die set has this die that embosses. Can you guys see that? Now it does have, it looks like a moth or a little butterfly or something in the middle. But I still like it. So this, you can see this one a little bit better. This was a card that I did. I don't think I've posted this one yet. And when I blended some ink over it, you can kind of see that embossed bits. But we're going to make something similar to this today. So let me show you the sizes of these dies. Now, I've seen lots of cards. Thank you, Xana, for sharing. I have not had a ton of time this week yet to play, but I'm hoping this weekend I can have some time in my room to have a little more fun with these. So as soon as I saw postage dies, I really wanted it. Now we've had a postage, I think it was like a postage punch, but I really like the size of these. Thank you, Linda. So let me show you. Here's what they look like. Okay, so we have two that I've used. That's these two to make layers for the front. We also have these rectangles and then this square size. Let me scoot this over just a bit. And if you notice, I trace around when I get my new die sets. I use a pencil and I trace around where they go. And this one, it has two straight edges and then the postage look on the ends. And I'm going to show you that one too. So I have quite a few. I've been playing with these. I also have had this idea to layer these like this. This is a deckled rectangle. So I haven't done that yet, but I still have a bunch of these cut that I haven't used yet. Now I posted this. I love, these are my favorite colors. This is Pebbled Path, Pretty Peacock, Lost Lagoon, and Pool Party. So I'm definitely loving these colors, and I can't wait. I have an order in, and it's coming with one of the new in colors is a teal, and I am so excited to get it. It may be more like Coastal Cabana. It looks a little brighter. That's okay. I didn't cut any Coastal Cabana, but that would be a great color too. You can also just cut a square or I'm sorry, a rectangle to put on top of this and make it look like a postage stamp. So on this one, I'm going to show you how I added the black line to kind of block off or the area. Good morning, Maggie. Joan, you have these and you've used the smaller ones. So I haven't played a ton with the smaller ones yet. Good morning, Vicki. Now, these are, I don't believe these are retiring, Xana. So if you're worried about that, the dies are staying. It is the, they're currently bundled with a greeting set or has sayings. That stamp set's retiring, but I believe these dies are staying. I've seen them in the new catalog. I'm almost positive. I don't have my new catalog right next to me. It's here somewhere. But I love these. And as soon as I saw these, they were definitely on my list. So we have this size. This is the biggest one. This is the next one. Somewhere I actually have a list of the sizes for these. So let me show you the rest, okay? So they layer. So then this is the next size for the rectangle. So if you ever hear me talk about my dies, I label them. This would be number 1. The second size is number 2. So then I would go to this rectangle and label it 3. So then this would be 4. And then we have this size and then this one. So there's quite a few dies in here. Good morning, Dad. Thanks for joining us. So you can see how those layer. Now, I probably wouldn't put that many layers like that on the front of my card, but you can do some cool layouts, and I will be playing more with those. And then we have this square die, and it layers. Let me put it on this because it just shows up better. It layers like this, okay? So I have lots of those cut. I have lots of these cut. And then I felt like I cut that one, but I don't have it. Maybe I didn't. But this would be like a label or something you could use for a greeting. I must not have cut it, or it's not over here at my table. And then we have these dies that cut like a hole. So if you wanted to make a tag, there's circles. And this is a circle. And then this looks like, what are those? Hole reinforcers. And then this is the die that embosses that little, you know, the mark your postage gets when it goes through the mail. I love that. Vicki, it does look like a quilt. And I've seen a lot of fun cards with these, and I've been wanting to really play with them, and I just haven't had the time that I wanted. So that's what they look like. And I will be playing with these smaller sizes more. I just absolutely love these. Now, you could use this smallest one right here also for your greeting. So don't be afraid to grab out your favorite greetings, whatever the sizes are, and play with these. So they are fun. I love these. I really do. So let's, now I cut one this size, and this is pretty peacock. And then and like I said, somewhere I have the measurements written. I just cut a rectangle to go on top. So you can do either way. So on this one, I used a ruler and I marked off where I wanted my lines. And then I used the black Stampin' Write marker to go over that. And I'm going to show you, I have tape here. I'm going to show you how I did this. Now, I did some blending on this, and I did it right over top after I did my image without masking it. So, I do have some spots where my flowers got the pool party on it, and it dulled my image a little bit. But you could use blends. We can do whatever we want this morning. So, are you guys ready to get busy and play? Good morning, Deb. Yeah, Maggie, these were definitely on the top of my list. I just haven't had a chance to really use them. Now, if you bought my Nature Sweetness class that just was mailed out last Friday, and I did a video, it actually has a card similar to this in there. And it's probably my favorite card. So we can do either way, and I want to show you this way. So maybe we might have time for two. We'll see. We'll see. Now you could also use this, and then instead of using this die, you could just cut a straight layer. You could just have a regular layer. You don't have to double the die if you don't like the look. I don't know why you wouldn't like it. I love it. Now this one, I didn't put the black lines on. I just kind of stamped and then colored. I love these colors. I love this. I love these cards that I made. I'm pretty proud of them. I hope you like them too. So, the stamp set for today, do you mean, Linda? We can use whatever stamp set you want. So I have some ideas here. This one is the Lovely and Sweet. This one, let's see if I can, that stamp is the Magnolia Mood. Now this is an online exclusive, okay? This is the new Magnolia set. That's an online exclusive, so it is not in the catalog. It's in our online exclusive products. I love this pencil drawing look. We could use, we could use a bird stamp. You can use anything you want. So when I think of postage stamps, I don't know about you guys, but I fall in love with the ones that have scenes on them. Like one year we had a winter set that had a barn. It had some birds. It had some winter berries. And I just love that look. So that is kind of what I was going for. And I just love the postage stamp look. And I think it makes a quick wow card. And you can use whatever supplies you have. You can use your favorite images. So I'm going to move these off to the side. I'm not going to do this embossed image today. But you can kind of see with this card what that looks like. So we do need to pick the image, but I'm going to show you how I created this outline for my layer, and then we'll just add color. And I may just do a blends background instead of my blending brush, because I think it has just a great effect too. And I'm doing a small area, so I'm not as worried about using up my markers. I use them up quickly anyway. That's what I bought them for. So, yes, Linda, this is gorgeous. Now, I will tell you that I love the Magnolia Mood. I love that stamp set. But I also have, we have another older Magnolia set. I have this Good Morning Magnolia, which is seriously one of my probably favorite stamps. I love the Magnolia tree, and I miss mine. And so I loved this stamp. It's oops, I've got masks in here too. It is a large stamp. So you could still use this. If you have this older Magnolia set, you can still use this. But we're going to cut it off so that it looks like it's contained in that rectangle that we're going to draw. Okay. Oh, yes, this one. So, yeah, I use these quite a bit. I mean, I have lots of videos featuring this stamp set. It is one of my favorites. Now, we did have another set, and it was called, Magnolia. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because you may have it. It was a beginner set. Let me just look really quick. I know I saw it when I was going through my things. Figure out where it went. There it is. It was called Magnolia Bloom. So this was a, at once upon a time, Stampin' Up! Had a beginner's brochure. And this was a smaller set that they offered. So this looks similar to this. This is more of a detailed line drawing. And then this is a little different image. But if you have that, I also pulled out this because I love the fonts of these sayings. So if you like tropical, add in whatever you have. I could make a palm tree set. Maybe you have someone that likes the beach. The idea here is to grab whatever stamp sets you have that you love, and we're going to make it look like a postage stamp, okay? Something beautiful that you would put on the outside of your envelope when you're mailing your cards out. And I do buy lots of postage stamps, and I buy them based on what they look like. I love sending pretty stamps. Oh, Linda, I'm sorry. But I'm sure you have something that you can use. And so I've pulled lots of my retired sets. I love the flowers. I really love when they have the winter stamps and it has like the snowy look. And so any sets that you have that you love, this technique will work with. So now let me show you how I drew the line, and then we'll figure out what we want to use, what stamp. And like I said, you don't have to double layer it like this. You could have just a regular sized layer and then put this on top, okay? But I'm going to show you how I did this. So, quite a few of these. Let me grab one. And I'm using my glass mat, but you can also use a grid paper. And honestly, this is kind of slippery, so I may have to use a little piece of tape to kind of keep it in line. I am not worried if it is 100% perfect, okay? I'm not going to worry about that. That's just too much pressure. So, yeah, I love all these. And so no matter what card, and I'm going to stamp on it like this. So instead of doing a layer and then having this embossed image, I'm going to do it more like this, where we stamp the greeting right onto our stamp area. So it's a little less layers, and we can pick whatever we want. I have lots of things next to me. Okay, so what you need is a ruler, and mine's red, and it's hard for me to see. I need to upgrade my ruler here to a clear one. But I'm using the grid lines on my mat. You can also use a piece of grid paper and use, you're just using the lines to make marks. And I'm using a pencil, and I'll show you the eraser I'm going to use. So even if you, say, did this on crumb cake, or we have the new basic beige coming, which is a lighter, lighter tan. If you wanted to stamp and use that kind of color, like it's vintage or very vanilla, I'm going to show you the eraser I use, and it does not harm your cardstock and make white spots. Okay, so I'm just using a pencil, and I'm going to go to this first mark. Okay, and I'm just lining those up, and I'm drawing a pencil line. And then I like to turn mine, and I'm just lining it up. It's just easier for me. You could just go all the way around and use all the sides, but I don't know. I just work better from this side. So do it however it makes sense to you. I'm just lining up my side, and then I'm using the line for a guide. Okay, So I have my guidelines on there, okay? I don't have it in my hands yet, Vicki. My order will be on its way, hopefully soon. Hold on. I just noticed my video is frozen. So hopefully I'm still recording. The basic beige is definitely lighter than crumb cake. But I have, I don't actually have it in hand yet. It's on its way. So I can't wait to see it though. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, thank you, ladies. My laptop is just frozen, so who knows? It could be my internet. We have a really frosty, cold day here, and it seems to be really acting up here lately. So I'm just going to keep on going. So I did my guidelines. Now what I'm going to do my stamping, this is what I use. You can use any low-tack painter's tape or whatever you want. This is called Post-it tape. It's actually labeling and cover-up tape, but I buy it in rolls, and I use it for die cutting to hold things down, and today I'm gonna use it for my borders. So I already have some pieces I used. I'm just recycling my ones from yesterday, and until they stop sticking, I just keep using them. And I'm just going over those pencil lines. Again, don't worry about it if it's completely perfect. I think sometimes if we overanalyze everything we do, then it just, it doesn't feel fun, and it just makes it harder. So I have my space protected where I want to stamp. Okay, I'm just refreshing my computer. So now we have to decide, really, what do we want to stamp? Okay. All right, let's see if I can keep rolling now. Okay, so we do have that new Magnolia. I have some old retired stamp sets too. These are some that I pulled out when I did my Nature Sweetness class. So if you have the Blessings of Home, this is a big flower image. And you also need to think if you want it to be a line image or a solid image. So Forever Blossoms has some fun flowers. The Prized Peony is one of my favorites. And then I still have that Cottage Rose. So I want you to think about all the stamps that you have. I mean, this is a great technique. And you could even make a set of cards that look nature themed, but look like postage stamps on the front. You could use birds, you can use solid stamps, you can use anything really. So let's decide what we want to stamp here. What do you guys think? Start popping in some ideas for me. Hopefully my comment section will keep rolling. Just my video froze earlier, so we're good. We're all good. Yeah, so what do you guys think? I don't want to have too many choices. Sometimes that's the hardest part, is paring everything down. Vicki has suggested doing a landscape picture. So what do you guys think? Anybody want to pop in some ideas? I know you like the Magnolia, and we're welcome to do that new Magnolia wherever I put it. We're welcome to do this image. I love that image, so you won't hurt my feelings, whatever you pick. Oh, let's see, the prize peony. I loved this stamp set and the dies that came with it. It had dies that you built a peony. This was one of my older classes, so we could definitely use this image. We could use this image. And remember, we're going to trace around this. So the idea is that it is blocked off. And it's okay if the stamp doesn't fit all the way. It's okay if it's just a little portion. When you look at postage stamps, especially the pretty ones, let me see if I have any. Let me see what I have right here by my desk. You guys, I have a slight problem with buying things like this. But see how like things hang off. It's okay if it's not perfect. I also have, I love this author. And then I have birthday ones. We even have lots of sets of the Star Wars ones. Here's some of my Christmas ones. Let's see what these were. So see how this is a snow globe and it's just a portions hanging off. And then these were really fun. This year we didn't have the barn scene, stamp. So I just keep lots of stamps. So, yeah, we could do anything. I love, oh yeah, that set with the calming camellia, is that how you say that? That one would be great, Deb. I don't remember if I kept that set or not. So we can definitely use the peony. That's not going to break my heart. I love it. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let me see. What size block do I need? Somewhere I have some blocks laying around here. Speaking of blocks, and I haven't seen it go away. The size G block, which I don't own, is retiring, but this one is also retiring, this long I block, and I use this for a lot of stamps. So you may want to grab one if you haven't, and this one's also leaving, and I use tons of these, so I will be making sure I get some of those hopefully before they're gone. But I just wanted to point that out in case you didn't see that. So I am going to stamp in Pebbled Path. That's my new favorite gray right now, so that's what I'm using. And I like to color with blends, so I'm also using blends. And you can use a watercolor technique for this. I've seen a lot of beautiful watercolors. You just need to be careful when you make this line. If you're going to do watercoloring, do not use the Stamp and Write marker. This is water-based and it will smear. Or you can watercolor, let it dry completely, and then trace. But do not, we're basically going to do this last. So don't try to make your line and then watercolor, because it will smear and it will move. So that's just a little tip. We will do that line last after everything's done, all the coloring, and then the greeting is stamped last after the line. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to lay it down. Now, if you have a stamp positioner, this would be a great thing to do. I just want to check and make sure I'm not off the screen here. Okay, so there's my stamped image. Guess what? I'm leaving the tape on while I color. Aw, Linda, I'm sorry. But honestly, I don't ever want anyone to feel like they don't have something that I have and they're missing out. I don't want you to feel like that. That's why I say, look at your stamps. You've bought your stamps because you like the images, you like the greetings, you like the fonts, and that's why you've collected those. So get out your favorites. And I could turn this peony different ways and make them look different and make a whole set of cards with the exact same stamp. I didn't have a lot of room before, and I may not have this amount of room forever, and I might have to let go of things too. And so I understand that when we have limited space. I have recently kept a ton. In the last 7 years, I've kept a ton of stamps that I didn't normally keep. I didn't normally collect as much. So I always want people to feel like you bought those stamps for a reason, and it's okay if you make 2,000 cards with it. Okay? It does not matter if you use the same stamp set over and over again. It's about what you love and making cards that you want to send to people to make them feel good, make them feel loved, make them feel seen. So please do not feel like you have to own everything. I never want you to feel like that. If you see something you love and it is for sale and it's within your means, then, you know, if you want to collect it, then that is fine. But I don't want you to feel like you have to have everything. I certainly do not own everything. There's lots of stamp sets that I think, oh, I wish I would have got that, but I let it go. And it's okay. So let go of that feeling. Because you're going to copy what I'm doing and you're going to use whatever stamp sets you love. Okay, so let's decide. What color do we want our peony? I have Old Olive for my leaves. And I have light Pool Party for my background. You can also add in dark Pool Party. I just grabbed a couple things. But we need a color for our flower. So let's do that. We'll do the background. I'm actually leaving the tape on. And I will tell you, on this one, I don't have a pointer. Down here, because I left the tape on and I didn't have it perfect, my blends did bleed through a little bit, and I just used my color lifter and I pushed that color through and fixed it, and then made my line. Chances are no one's really going to notice that it's not perfect. We're not worried about exact. We're not machines. We're humans, and this is a handcrafted card. So we just want to have fun. Maybe you enjoy coloring, and so you want to use this time to just do some coloring, and this is a unique way to frame it. Blushing Bride. Ooh, I would love it if we had Blushing Bride. That was my favorite color, Joan. I can't wait to get that new Pretty in Pink because I'm really hoping I will love it as much as Blushing Bride. Let me think. You know, I'm trying to think of what colors I could use. So Joan's voting for a pink. Now, for blends wise, pink, we do have Bubble Bath. And I do have a retired pink. I think it was called Pink Pirouette. Maybe, I don't remember. It's a blend I barely use because I only have one set, but it can kind of look like Blushing Bride. Ooh, Moody Mauve. Yeah, that would be a good substitute. It's a little bit darker, but that one might be good. What do you think? Exactly, Maggie. Perfectly imperfect. Art's not perfect, so don't put that on yourself. What do you guys think? Moody Mauve? Everybody raise your hand in the comments if you want Moody Mauve. And just for reference, Moody Mauve is what I used on my Magnolia. Okay? That's Moody Mauve. Let's see, I saw some more colors. Deb says Berry Burst with Bubble Bath. Yep, that definitely works too. And Linda's voting for coral area. Let's see. Okay. So I see some hand raised for Moody Mauve. So here are some other color suggestions that everyone's giving online. So this is the, let me move this off to the side. This is the Bubble Bath. This is Berry Burst. And then this would be the Calypso Coral. Oops. Now with the Calypso Coral, I like to use Petal Pink a lot. I know some of you are probably going, what? It is not my favorite color. Petal Pink is not my favorite, but I do like it with the Calypso Coral. So I like to use it to tone down that coral color. So Maggie votes yes to the Bubble Bath. And somewhere I have my, well, let me see if I can find my blends chart here. Okay, so remember, I make these blend charts and I can't wait. I'm getting ready to add 5 new blends to my colors. So this is the retired one I have that very much looked like Blushing Bride, Pink Pirouette. I only have one, so if it runs out while we're coloring, that's all I got. This was before I really stocked up on things. So here's the Petal Pink and the Calypso Coral. So I would use probably the light Calypso Coral with these and maybe the dark Petal Pink. That would be a good color combo. Here is the Berry Burst and the Bubble Bath. I love using those two colors together. And then there's the Moody Mauve. So we have 3 choices. So let me take some of these away. So this is what I would pair. I would pair dark Petal Pink with light Calypso Coral. We could do, let's take away the dark. We could do this combo, dark Berry Burst with the Bubble Bath, or we can do Moody Mauve and just use one color, light and dark. So here's our leaf color. So let's do 1 for coral, 2 for the purpley pink, and 3 for the Moody Mauve. So Linda votes 1 or 2. I see a couple 2s. Now, all of these colors work. Even if you wanted to use Blackberry Bliss, that was one of my favorite colors to use, and Rich Razzleberry, which is long retired. And I don't know all the proper colors for peonies, but make it whatever you like. Make it your favorite color. I think it would be okay if you made it Pretty Peacock if you wanted, or whatever. So I see a lot of 2s. Anyone else want to throw their hat in before I start coloring? I'm going to wait just a second. I'm going to go ahead and color my leaves. And I'm just using the details given with the stamped image. Now remember, there's a piece of tape here. So it's not gonna, I don't want to color up on my tape. I love these really detailed line stamps because I really think you could leave this white and just add in some gray where it has the shadows and kind of blend it out, and you really don't have to color it. So if you feel like, oh, I just don't know, leave it white. We're going to color around the outside, the outside of the flower, and that's going to help it pop. So there's lots of ways you can leave it white and it's still going to look stunning. That magnolia that I did, I didn't add any shading onto this. This was a line drawing stamp. I colored the leaves. I added some color to the middle and I added color around it and it came alive. So don't feel like you can't leave it white if that's the color you want to, okay? So that was the dark Old Olive. Now I'm going to come in and I'm just going to fill in the rest of my leaf. And then try to blend out some of those lines. Just make it nice and smooth. And I'm just going right up to where it's taped. Okay. Oh, there's a little leaf here. I almost missed him. Okay, I think I have a lot of votes for this color combo right here, which is kind of, I like it. It's exciting. Just dabbing on some dark back in. And I like to just add little dots, so you don't have to feel like you have to color everything. You can just add some little dots and it just adds a little texture onto your image. Okay, so I'm going to take these away, and I love all those color choices. So if you're coloring, test them out. Let me see if I have a small piece here. So if I were going to kind of swatch these and test them out, this was the coral. So this is light Calypso coral and dark petal pink. Okay, so if you're copying some of the combos I suggested, there's the coral one I suggested. This is Moody Mauve. Again, you could watercolor this, or you could still use the Stampin' Write markers. These are water-based. They just don't color the same way as the blends. They don't blend. So if you're coloring, they can leave lines, okay? And I really like this new improved version that we have. I don't have all of the colors in them. Okay, let's see. That's the light berry burst with the bubble bath color. Okay. So there's that. And you don't have to use this light color a lot. You could just use one color. If you don't really feel like you like blending, I just like how these dry smooth. Okay. So I'm going to come in here, and again, I'm using what the artist gave me on the stamp. Now, if you have an open stamp where you really can add in your own highlights and things, then that's fine, do that. And if you want this image, but you don't want all the darkness of the shadows that's already drawn in, just stamp off once. And then use it how you want as far as the shadows. We'll see how this is going to turn out for me. And I may add more, and I may just color it one color and add in some highlights. So we'll just see. Let's play today. Okay, let's see how we like this. Like I said, I might just end up adding the dark color everywhere. Now this is the dark bubble bath. And the beauty about blends is you can keep layering these colors. So if we don't like it at first, that's okay. I know I missed some of the shaded parts up here. That's okay. Now I am using the brush tip on this. I'm just adding a layer over top. I'm not trying to be real detailed or I'm not doing realism coloring, so I'm just adding on color, enjoying the process. I think I just kind of, I like it more the darker color. What do you guys think? I like it more just the very burst color. I'm gonna try to smooth it out here, but I think I want it more the brighter pink, or I mean the very burst pink. Go over it and try to smooth some of this out so that it's not all these hard lines. Now, sometimes when you're coloring with your blends, you want to take a break and don't oversaturate it. It will just spread. And I usually do like to do petal by petal. This flower, because the petals are so tight together, sometimes that can be a little bit harder. And so I'm just taking my time and kind of going back over my colors. It's like I'm creating a new color here. And this bubble bath color, it's dark bubble bath, it will lighten that berry burst a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna let that develop for a second and just see. I put a lot of color on there. Let's see how it comes together. Hopefully you don't think, oh my gosh, Beth, that was a muddy mess. Can you guys see okay what I'm doing? Let me move my light down just a little. And the hard part is I normally move my project as I'm coloring and it's taped down. So I'm going to do it the opposite way this time. I'm going to put on a layer of, this is the dark bubble bath color. And then I'm going to add in some of this color. You made ninja masks for Isaac's birthday party. How fun. How fun. Ooh, that's a lot of blends coloring, I bet. So now that I added on this dark bubble bath layer, then I added on a light berry burst layer. Now I'm going back over those layers with the bubble bath. Hopefully that's making sense to everybody. Can you kind of see what's happening with the flower? Can you guys see it okay? I'm afraid if I move my camera down and back up, it might be hard to get it. Thank you, Joan. So my favorite thing about blends is you can keep layering that color. You can add in darks. I'm not going to say take away, but I could add on some areas of highlight with this light bubble bath, okay, just by going in and kind of swiping it where I want. Now you can use the color lifter to do this as well. I usually like to use maybe a little bit of a lighter color because the color lifter doesn't have any color to it, so it really can push that color through and leave like a really stark white spot. So if that's not what you're going for, you could just use a lighter color to kind of help add some lighter areas in. And I do like to adjust. There's times that I spend hours and hours coloring an image and getting it how I want. I mean, that's just what I like to do. So I'm not saying you have to do that. You certainly do not. But the beauty about the blends is when you do add in some more colors. Now see how that's, I added a little too much color to that, and see how I have a fuzzy edge. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll hold it up when I untape it. You want to try to avoid doing that, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. It's probably because I used the brush tip. The brush tip end lays a lot of ink. It lays a lot of color down. So you can keep adjusting this. You can go back in with your dark and add in, you know, darker areas. You can really adjust it as much as you want. And you know, sometimes I tend to keep doing it. So sometimes I gotta just tell myself, it's okay. It's okay. Probably gonna have to do that today too. But I want you to just feel like you can make this as detailed as you want, as colored as you want, or you can do it really simple. You could just do one color. You can use a Stampin' Write marker. It doesn't have to be overworked. I don't want you to feel like you can't copy this. Now this one, like I said, it's spread a little bit, looks a little fuzzy. That's all right. I'm gonna add in some more dark here, clean up my line there. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna stop. I don't need to overwork it. And I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about fuzzy edges. That doesn't bother me. So if it bothers you, then, you know, don't use the brush tip end. So our blends have the brush tip and the bullet tip end. Make sure you're using the smaller one. Okay, now I'm going to add in my background. Now, I'm still keeping it taped because I want to add color. And I want to make sure I am not going past that line. I don't want to have to clean up a bunch of areas. So this is the dark Pool Party. I decided to grab the dark, and I'm just coloring right up to that line. Now you can do dots. You know how much I love doing dot coloring. You can add dots in here. You can do circle motions. You can do flicks. You do not have to fill it in. I'm filling in the bottom. And then I'm going to do something, probably try to fade it so that it's lighter on the top. This is what I'm doing for the bottom. You could use the brush end for this if you feel comfortable coloring with it. But I do, like I said, I want to be kind of careful where I'm at with the tape because it will move beyond that tape. It will kind of, I'm not saying go under it, but it does spread. So depending on how much ink you're putting on there, it will move a little bit. And the beauty about blends is they dry nice and smooth. They have a beautiful texture. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Joan. Joan, the eclipse, we are not in 100% totality, but it is going to be pretty close to that. So yeah, we are in the line of it. That flower's really fuzzy. I'm trying to use my Pool Party to kind of push that color back where it goes. We'll see. Now the other one, I actually, I did not use my blends all the way up to the tape like this for the entire way around. So we'll see how this this looks. We'll see how much bleeding I had. Now this one I am gonna try to, oh, nope, it's dying on me. No, I won't be doing that. I use mine so much with the bullet tip that sometimes my brush tip end is already dead. And this one's already dying. I use this color a ton. Let me see. I have one hanging out here that I'm trying to use up. There we go. Need to leave that area alone, let it dry so I can go back and try to clean it up. So this one was getting low, not coloring well, so I just stuck it like this in a container to let all the solution run to one end to try to squeeze a little bit more out of it. We'll see if we can finish this one with it. Almost looks like it's raining on this flower, the way the lines are. And it does matter. If you put lines on, the texture looks different than if you do circles. It will still dry smooth, but you can definitely see the texture. At least that's what I've noticed. Okay, I might have to try to push some of that back in. Let it dry for a second. It still feels wet. Ooh, thanks, Deb. I love peonies. I've never grown them or anything like that, but I just love them. I'm going to try to clean this area up a little bit. It is bothering me because my fuzzy spread a little bit when I added on the pool party. And I really don't want that purple out there hanging out. I don't mind it on my flower. It looks like it's radiating. And then I will add some more color back in. So don't worry. I'm just trying to clean up and adjust the area a little bit. Got heavy-handed with my color. And I'm doing little lines into my flower. So I'm coming to the flower. I'm gonna work it a little bit. The hardest colors are like the reds and the purples. Okay, I need to let it sit for a second. Okay, so while we're waiting on that, so I can clean it up a little bit. What greeting do we want? So on this one, I stamped Embrace the Beauty of You. Now remember, we're stamping it up here. And when this dries a little bit, I put a lot of Blends ink on here. I'm going to smooth this out a little bit up here with my color lifter. Embrace the Beauty of You. I don't know why, but I just really love that stamped saying. I also did Hello. Now this Hello is retired. It is from one of my favorite sets, and I kept Life is Beautiful was the name of the set, and I kept these. I really liked this, and this would be a great image to use to make themed, like if you wanted a tree with some themed like winter, fall, summer, spring kind of thing. And it has this cute little birdhouse. I love this hello, so that's what I've used on this. Hey, Carrie, no worries. Oh, awesome, Maggie. I love that. So, I love that. No worries, Carrie. We're still crafting around here. I'm waiting for this to hopefully clean up a little bit. So I'm just working on it a little bit, and then I feel like I keep picking up that color. So I should have maybe had a lighter hand when I colored that little bud. That's okay. I'm just gonna, and I'm gonna add some of that dark pool party back over top, so I'm not worried about it too much. Sometimes things bother me, I will admit. And I feel like I keep touching it and pulling that color back out because of my tape. So I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it, guys. Tell me it's okay. And now I'm coming with my color lifter, and I'm just going along that top a little bit. I wanna lighten it a little bit. And then, uh-oh, I mixed up my lights. Whoops. I'm gonna come back from this side. Oh, thank you, Carrie. Oh, I'm always practicing my coloring skills, and I just did it again. I put that one that, oh, well, these two are going to both go in my pile, I think, to go upside down so I can squeeze some more ink out of those. I really don't like how that looks right there, but I'm going to try to clean it up a little bit. And then I'm going to let it go, right? Let it go. Adding in some darker spots here and there. Okay, that was the dark. Let's see. I'm just trying to smooth out some of my transition areas here. Okay. Do you guys ever feel like you just can't? You just can't stop coloring. Now I'm doing circles on this part. And yes, my marker is running out. It's slowly dying. But I'm going to keep using it until it just isn't adding the color anymore. Okay. Tell me I'm done. Tell me I'm done. All right, are you guys ready for the reveal? This is still a little fuzzy down here, but I'm going to let it go. It's okay. I don't think it looks really horrible. It just bothers me that it's a little fuzzy. So. I know, Carrie. I have such a hard time saying, I'm just done. I'm just done. Quit touching it. Let it be. Okay, so are you guys ready for the reveal? I'm going to take the tape off. We'll see how well I did and if my markers bled under my tape. So, here we go. Now, I did see Vicki say thanks. What do you guys think? Do you want to stamp? Do you want to do a thank you card? Okay, so I'm taking this up. Remember, I'm going to reuse this. So I just kind of stick it over here on my table. Voila. Now, see how much that bled? I'm going to clean it up. Don't worry about it. It's going to be white. But that's because I overworked that area. So don't do what I did. So there is our reveal. I'm going to reuse my tapes. And first thing I'm going to do, Maggie. So here's an up close. I really overworked this area. Don't copy me. Don't do that, right? It's okay. I'm going to come in with my color lifter and push all this through so that this edge is still white, okay? And that pink might be a little bit hard, but that's okay. I'm going to work this a little bit, and I'm not worried. If it messes up, we're putting that black line on there, so it's okay if the color does not go all the way to the edge. You can leave white spots. I know, I have a hard time with that sometimes. So I'm going to let that sit for a minute because I will overwork it, and that's not a good idea. So let's think. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to check my comments. Vicki, I thought you said thank you. Did you say a thank you? Yes, thank you. So thank you, Carrie. So I have lots of thank you stamps, I feel like. Lots of retired ones that I love. Now, remember, we use this retired prize peony set. This has love and thanks to a dear friend. What else I have? I loved this font. That thank you. Now, there is this thanks from this Magnolia. And you want to think about the size, too, for the space. So when you're kind of planning your card, let me see, what else do I have laying here? I do have this thank you. Now this is the blueberry bunches. I have this thank you. Usually I like to pick a clear stamp. These are all cling. So we can pick whatever. So do you guys want to thank you? I like the fonts in this. This is the blueberry bunches. You can still get this one right now, but we're going to stamp right up here in this area. And honestly, if you really hate this area and you've worked so hard on it, you could stamp a greeting on one of these layers. Now this one won't fit, and pop it over that. Okay? Especially if you can't clean that up. If I can't, I might do that. So don't be afraid to just fix your card. Sometimes I have to, part of letting it go, ooh, tearing up my cardstock, is saying I need to fix an area and it's not perfect and I'm changing the design of my card. And that's okay. These Saturday mornings are all about this creative process. And guess what? Sometimes things do not turn out how you planned, and that's okay. It doesn't mean you have to throw it away. It just means you might have to rethink how you want to do something. That berry burst really does not want to go away. Now I'm just going one direction, and I'm just trying to push it the best I can through my card. Like I said, if I don't like it, I'll put a greeting there. I could even stamp a greeting strip and just put it over it. Now I didn't have any boo-boos on this one, but I didn't love how I covered my leaf, so I added a greeting over top. Guess what? My cards don't come out perfect, or how I want every single time. That's part of the creative process. So let's do a thank you. And I hope everyone likes the one I picked. I used the one from the blueberry bunches. Did I say bushes earlier? Bunches. Blueberry bunches. This is still available. So, and I still may. What do you guys think? Should I do the strip? Let's vote. Should I do the strip over it? Or should I leave it as is and stamp it on the top? So I have a pebbled path base. This is going on like this. Okay. You don't have to do a layer. How I did a layer on these two. Okay. I wanted a pop of color back there. You do not have to do the double layer. Now, this is just so that you can see. I'm doing a pebbled path base. Let me see. I have all these colors over here. Now, if you have a lot of white cardstock and you just have little bits of your colors, you can do a layer that is pebbled path like this, and then add white or a different color underneath. Okay, so there's some options. I have, so Deb's voting stamp at the top. So when I add the black line, you may not even, it's starting to really work its way so that you don't quite see that pink as much. When I do the black line, you may not even notice that. So Joan says she really can't see it. See, and it is a personal thing. Sometimes because we're the artist, we overthink it and we think everyone else is going to notice, and they don't. So it doesn't bother me as bad now. I think it's gone. When I outline it, it's not going to bother me. I'm going to leave it as is. So this is Pool Party, and you can see because we use Pool Party back here, it's really just kind of a subtle change. I also have Lost Lagoon. So don't be afraid to pick like things that could go in the same color family. It helps bring in a little color and separate this. Everybody says stamp at top, so that's what we're going to do. And I'll show you. I'm going to put the lines on here in a minute and darken that up. And you may change your mind after you see the lines on it. And then I do have one pretty peacock still here. Ooh, I really like that. Oh, I love that. What do you guys think? Pretty peacock's my favorite, but. So Carrie votes she just likes it just on the pebbled path. And you could double layer it if you want that texture in there. It's okay to layer colors that you have. So let's do these lines, which Linda said, I do not have any cut that's the same color as my flower. So my flower, I used Berry Burst. I do have Berry Burst paper, but I do not have any of these layers cut. But you could certainly use that in the background too. That's going to kind of bring this color back in. Linda, you said stamp at the top with PP. Which PP do you mean? And that almost sounded like something bad, didn't it? Pebbled Path or Pretty Peacock? So there's a lot of, but I did use Pebbled Path when I stamped my greeting. And you know what? I may even use my stamp positioner and not use a block. So that I can stamp this. So when I stamped this one, I put it on my stamp positioner and I inked it and stamped it a few times. Now remember, I ink blended on this, so it's a little bit different when you use your blends to color that in. I know you guys are gonna be like, Beth, what are you doing? This hard line right here is kind of bothering me just a tad. So I'm gonna put a little, smooth it out a little. Okay, so, oh, okay, Linda, I got you now. I know there for a minute, it sounded like I was trying to say some bad words, but. All right, so I'm gonna bring my ruler back in and my Stampin' Right marker that is black. You don't have to use black. If you have not Pretty Peacock, if you have the Pebbled Path, you could use it. You could use basic gray. I am just choosing to use the black marker. Now, if you do not have these, you could use a Sharpie or something. You want something that is going to make a pretty nice fine line. These aren't super fine tip. These are not ultra fine. It says 0.5 mm. So, you just want something that's not thick. I don't use the brush end. Okay, that's what I mean. And I'm just going to lay it back onto my grid. So whether you're using the glass mat or the grid paper, to do my lines. Sorry, I was trying to read the comment. I know, Xana, I'm overthinking it. And I want you guys to understand I do it too. So if you do it, you know, just join my club because this is how I make cards. So, oh, no worries, Vicky. Enjoy that party. How fun. I'm sure it's going to be great. If you would love to share your decorations later, I would love to see them. I don't know. I'm sure everyone else would too. I would love to see how you use those blends and made your party decorations. Okay, so I am just going to, where this intersects, I'm going to start making a line. And I'm going to stop where it intersects. Okay, so there's the edge. And I just love how this kind of finishes it up. Again, I'm just picking a line. I'm making sure this is straight. And I'm going to my pencil line. Remember, I use these lines. And I'm just going to make a line. And I don't think it's perfect, but I do like it. I like a hand-drawn look too. And you'll notice there's a few things that have spread out of my line. We'll clean that up. So I'm just trying to line it up the same way I did when I made the lines. I'm not sure what happened here. Maybe I didn't get that one straight. Oh, thank you, Carrie. My goal with this card was to make it look like a postage stamp. So I often add these little black lines like this when I'm making projects, and I want to really showcase the rectangle. And if you're good at freehanding, then you can. I do like to do the pencil line mark. Now you see, I think I got it a little off over here originally. That's fine. This matte's slippery, so sometimes I do that. That's okay. I'm not worried about that. We can even blend it a little bit to make that color kind of fill in where that line was. So here is my eraser that I use. Now I will warn you, this pencil line might not come away because blends, I've noticed if I color over a pencil line with blends, it doesn't erase. But if you're just using the classic inks, it will erase. I use a high polymer eraser to erase the lines, and I just go along the edge and kind of clean it up. And this plays well with colored cardstock. Now I'm going to just go along this a little bit. No worries. Now, anything that you have that you feel like went out of the line, like I'll show you close up. So like these little areas, I just use the color lifter, okay? It is friendly with this Stampin' Right marker. So it's not gonna smear that marker. And I just kind of push it back toward that line, okay? So if I have any areas that I want to clean up, I do. And then we're done. We're ready to stamp our greeting. So, and actually, I think I am going to bring in my stamp positioner. I just feel like that might be the best option. My hello is still on there, but that's okay. And I like doing this to make sure that my stamp's straight. So you can use whichever one you have. And I'm going to stamp this thank you on there. And honestly, I'm not too worried about this thank you because it's kind of scripty. So if it's not exactly perfect, that's okay. I'm going to put this on here. Oh, and you know what? I have it, my mat in there. Make sure you take that out. And I'm just gonna put this over away from my hinge a little bit. And I'm doing this because depending on your background and what colors you choose, you may want to ink and stamp again. So use whatever positioner you have. I'm going to add this in just like this. I kind of like how this looks with the flower. I love this font. Okay, so let's add some ink. Are you guys ready? And I don't want to press really hard. I don't want this, sometimes when we have a line font and you really press hard, it spreads a little bit. So I'm just adding ink and then just adding a little pressure and letting that transfer over to my stamped front. So what do you think? There's our layer. And like I said, if you don't like coloring, pick a stamp that is filled in and stamp it. And so now we have a decision to make. Thank you. Thank you, Linda. Love all those hearts. Thank you so much for that love. So I already have a piece of Pebbled Path. It is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Ready for me. You can do a simple 1-layer card, or we can add a layer. So that's what we're going to vote on next. So these are the colors that I originally had. Remember, I was playing with these colors. And you could make it, if you really wanted this kind of, just for texture, if you wanted this detail, you can add this and then put it on dimensionals. There's a lot, I've seen a lot of cards like that, and I really like the tone on tone. So you can do that. I'm going to pull it away though. So let's see. Oh, we have our line of teals here. So I have Pool Party, Lost Lagoon, Pretty Peacock. We can choose a matte, or we can choose to just have one layer. So first, that's what we're going to vote on. So do we want one layer, or do we want it matted? And let me just bring in my other samples so that you can see. So this is what it would mean if we double it up there, okay? Now this one, I used a gray granite base and kind of helped offset those darker colors. So if you want, everyone's saying matte. Oh, I love it. I love it. You guys are on the ball today. So if you like simpler cards and you only want one layer, this is what you're picking, and that is fine. Both ways are great. Both ways are gorgeous. Okay, so everybody is voting. I see a lot of votes for matte, so we're just going to go with it. Okay, now we got to pick a color. So let's do A is Pool Party. Okay, I'm going to layer each one so you can see it. So kind of hold that in your mind. That's A is Pool Party. B is the Lost Lagoon. And C is the Pretty Peacock. So A, Pool Party, B, Lost Lagoon, C, Pretty Peacock. And just to show you, now this one, I didn't do a line. I really wished I would have because I like this detail. But I do love both cards. I think they both are beautiful. Oh man, you guys, there's so many votes. I love you all. Let's see. I think Pretty Peacock won out just by a hair. So if I were making a set of cards, wouldn't these be wonderful? You can pick different, you could use white and gray bases. This is gray granite. This is the pebbled path. I love these two colors together. And whatever colors you like for your mat. So if you're making a themed, maybe you want pinks and purples. You could do all pinks and purples mats, some without a mat, and make a whole set of cards that look like postage stamps. Who would love to get those? Raise your hand in the comments if you would love to get a set of cards that way. I think the line makes a huge difference, and I really wanted everyone to see how easy you can add that detail with just a grid. So whether you have a mat or you use grid paper, you could measure it out so that you're putting a dot a ½ inch on each end. I personally just think it's easier to use my grid. I don't really feel like I need to be precise. I just use the lines that I have. And you could mark a whole bunch and then stamp and do batching. You could do all the coloring at once, and then make a nice set of cards for someone. I love all your hands. Love those hands in the comments. Me too. So I'm going to just put some glue on this. Oh, and we got to remember to finish the inside of our card, right? That's our goal so far for this year. I've been doing pretty decent at it. I'm not going to say I'm 100% because that would be untrue, but I'm doing pretty good at it. Now, you could pop this one up on dimensionals and give it a little separation. I'm actually going to pop up this part on dimensionals. I just like that look where my whole layer is popped up. Let's see, I need to find my white cardstock here. And we can stamp, let me see what I got for the inside here. Where's that stamp set? Okay, seriously, Beth? What did you do with it? There it is. Okay, so I'm going to put the lid on this for a second. This smaller stamp that came in that Prize Peony set, and I am going to do a little stamping on the inside, and I think I'm just going to stamp off, or you could stamp right on, and put this down in the corner. So you can stamp off and make it light, or you can stamp right on. Let's just stamp right onto it. So my inside is pretty. You could even color it. Okay, you could even color this and make it match the front and make the inside very detailed. So do whatever you like. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I like to take the extra time and I stamp all my insides and I color them right along with the front. Oh, Linda, that's a great idea. And that's fine. If blends aren't your thing, I'm not trying to force anyone to use those. Those are my thing. That's what I like to color with. But Linda's suggestion was she uses her Wink of Stella with her ink pad. So do you just like press the ink in your lid and then pick it up like you're watercoloring with your Wink of Stella? I go through phases. I used to do that a lot, where I pressed my ink in my ink pad like this, and then I would take my water painter and grab a little bit of color and add it on. If you are stamping with another classic ink for your outline, you have to just be really careful that you're not smearing those colors. They will mix. They're water-based. You could also stamp with Stays On if you want to watercolor completely. That's you would need to stamp your outline with Stays On. But if you're doing just picking up a little bit of ink, it does give a nice texture. It doesn't have a smooth line texture all the time, but I do love doing that. Ooh, yes, and you can also put ink on the block. So you can take your ink pad, open it, take your block and press down in your ink pad and pick up on your blocks. I have watercolored that way as well. So thank you, Linda, for sharing that. I love that idea. So if you use the watercolor pencils or the pastels, whatever your choice is, please do it your way. Don't feel like you have to have the blends. That's my favorite thing, so that's what I'm using. And that's the look I like. So I go through phases too. Sometimes I just like to color with pencils and just do the colors we have available with that. I just feel like I have more colors available with blends. And if you have all the ink pad colors, then you have that as well. So I'm just putting some of the dimensionals on. I feel like I have these little pieces of paper everywhere and all over everything. So just curious, how do you corral your backings? Do you have a little dish you throw them in? I really need to adopt that kind of habit, but right now mine are just on the floor and everywhere. Okay, and I'm going to do my best to just put this on straight. I like to just kind of line up the long edge. There we go. I love it. I love the color combo you guys came up with. Carrie. Yes, yes. If if that is a thing, I am ahead. Oh, thank you, Maggie. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and creating this card. I have had a wonderful time with you today. And I love all your ideas. I hope you have so much fun copying this technique of adding the line. So here are some of my postage stamps. Now these two I did not put the line. So that just kind of shows you the difference there. You don't have to have the line, but I really love the finished look of adding the line and making it look like a true postage stamp. And some postage stamps have the design go all the way to the end, but that was the goal. That was my idea. I hope you love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. And if you ever need help creating your cards, you know you can just shoot me a message. I love to help you brainstorm and use the stamps that you have invested in. So if you love birds, make a set of birds. I'm seriously considering making a set of bird cards. And you know what? I think I'm going to give some away. So be on the lookout for how you can get one of my cards in the mail. So I really want to share with you all. If you need any Stampin' Up! Products or you want to shop some of those retiring things that are leaving, you can go to bethroy.stampinup.net and click on the shop now, and you can see everything that's going to be retiring. You can shop the clearance or pick up some of those online exclusives like this Magnolia Mood. What else, you guys? I feel like there was, the last chance sale starts on April 9th. So Tuesday, some of our retiring items will be discounted, and you can look through those. Thank you so much. If you share my video, please let me know so I can thank you. I do not always see the names of the people that shared the video with their friends. Thank you for all the love on my video and everybody hanging out and commenting and participating. I will see you soon. Take care.